Okay, so the latest transfer news around Man United concerns obviously Paul Pogba, James Maddison, and believe it or not, I think the world has gone mad. Diego Maradona has entered into the transfer news for Man United. So he's had an interview, I think, with 442, and he's come out and said that he's the man to bring back the glory for Man United. If they're looking for somebody to win trophies, then Diego Maradona's your man. Now, I don't know what he's on, but there we go. Solskjaer, if you're feeling the pressure and you feel now's the time to get out, don't worry. Diego Maradona's ready to take your place. Now, he's not going to endear himself to Man United. I mean, it's never going to happen in a million years, but he's never going to endear himself to Man United fans by saying that Man United used to be his favourite English team, but it's now Man City because of Aguero. So how you can say in one breath you want to be the next Man United manager and then say that actually you've changed your allegiance from your English team from Man United to Man City. I think he's on something again. But interestingly enough, he does enter the debate about Paul Pogba, and his comment is that Paul Pogba does not work hard enough, and I think that's something that all Man United fans can relate to. So we'll have a look at Paul Pogba, and we'll also have a look at potential replacement James Maddison, and there's some news on both of those players, and we'll just have a look at whether it would be a good move for Man United. So with regards to Paul Pogba, the latest news is sources in Italy are saying that Juventus are very, very keen on him, and there's even talk they've actually put an offer on the table. There's talk of 60 million pounds. Now, he signed from Juventus for 89 million, so that would mean Man United taking quite a loss at him. And you can see the attraction for Pogba to go back to Juventus. He had 4 good years in Turin. He's got obviously Ronaldo, the superstar, there to link up with, and he possibly sees it as the dream team. I don't know, but Man United, would they let him go for 60 million, and who is there to replace him? Well, obviously they're being linked to James Maddison. Now, it's interesting when you look at Pogba's stats. I think it could be argued he's had one of his best seasons stats wise. He's scored 13 goals, 9 assists, and his involvement in goals is 22, which is a career high. Now, the one thing that I really don't like about people claiming to be great goal scorers is those that notch the goals up with penalties, and 7 of those goals have been with penalties. So, I'm not too good, but we'll have a look at the comparison between Pogba and Maddison's stats later, and I'm quite impressed by Maddison, and I think he'd be a good fit. But you've got to question Pogba's attitude. When you look at how he's performed last year, yes, his stats suggest he's done very well, but he's very much has highs and lows in his performance. And when you look at the analysis in depth, it's against the big 6 clubs that he hits those troughs. And big teams need big players that are going to perform against the big teams. And unfortunately, Pogba just doesn't do it. Now, he's a world-class player without doubt, but when you compare him to somebody like, if you take, say, Henderson at Liverpool. Now, Henderson wears that Liverpool shirt with pride. He plays with passion and with heart. He has got nowhere near, I don't think, the talent of Pogba. But would you rather have Henderson or Pogba in your team? Now, I know a lot of Man United fans will say, well, I wouldn't want Henderson, but you've got to give a player like that credit. He was told he was expected to leave by Brendan Rodgers, that he didn't want him, and he stuck at it. He's improved his game. I'm probably one of his biggest critics, Henderson, and now he's a European champion, captain of Liverpool. And if you could only transfer a little bit of that heart and passion from a player like Henderson into Pogba, with Pogba's natural ability and flair and skill and power and drive, you'd have the perfect player. But my feeling is that Pogba just doesn't want to be at Man United. And if a player just doesn't want to be there and he's not going to give that effort, then he's only going to disrupt the team. He's going to disrupt the manager's tactics and plans, the whole attitude and mood of the club, the dressing room. And my view is that probably he's better off leaving, even if you have to take a loss on the 8 to 9 million. Now, obvious successor that everybody's bandying about is James Maddison, and so it's quite interesting. I'll have some interesting stats on him. So we'll have a look at James Maddison now. Now, James Maddison, he's only had 1 year in the Premiership. He's a 22-year-old. He was signed, I think, from Norwich for about £22 million. So Leicester got an absolute bargain with him. And we'll have a look at his Championship stats, which are very impressive. Now, interestingly enough, James Maddison talks about Man United, being a boyhood fan of Man United, and I think certainly his dad was a fan of Man United. He's on 50 grand a week with Leicester, so it's certainly going to be a pull for him to come to Man United. Hopefully his boyhood club, if that's correct what he's saying, and I'm sure Man United will offer him a large increase on his 50 grand a week. Now, when you look at how Maddison plays, you talk about Henderson with heart and passion, and Maddison is the same. He's all action. He puts 110% in. But I think he's got that quality as well. Like I say, he's 22. He's only had 1 season in the Premiership, but to step up from the Championship and deliver straight away in your first season, and you could argue that Leicester, they aren't. They're not a top 6 club, so it's not like he's surrounded by, world-class players all around him. They're a good, solid team. They're well organised, but he's shone in that team. And interestingly enough, he's created more chances for his teammates than any other player in the 18-19 season in the Premier League. So this is a guy that, we'll have a look at his stats now and compare him to Pogba. So, I mean, the 18-19 season, Pogba played 47 appearances, 16 goals, 11 assists. Maddison, less games, 38 appearances, 7 goals, 7 assists. So not quite there with Pogba, but just remember, Pogba's got 7 penalties in those. But for a first season for a 22-year-old, I think those are outstanding. If you go back a year, a 17-18 season with Pogba, he had 37 appearances, 6 goals, 12 assists. Now, Maddison was in the Championship with Norwich that season. He had 49 appearances, 15 goals, and 11 assists. So this is a fella that's proved it in the Championship. He stepped up to the Premiership, and so many players fail when they take that hurdle, and he's excelled this year. Now, looking at his style of play and the passion he shows, he's the sort of player I think teammates would want around him. He creates for other people. He scores goals, we can see that. He assists, but he creates chances for other players. And if you're playing in a team, and your Marcus Rashford or your Martial or, whoever's there at the start of the season, you want somebody like Maddison who's going to put the ball in the spot for you. And I think he's the sort of player that'll do that. Now, you could argue, the 60 million price tag that Leicester seem to be putting on him is way excessive. I don't think it is. I think for a 22-year-old player that's coming to the Premiership, and anybody that watches him play can see that this lad's got quality. I think he's got the right attitude. He plays the way that I think Man United fans would love to see their midfielders play. And quite frankly, I would let Pogba leave, and if you only got 60 million for him and had to spend it straight out the door, Maddison, I would. I'd be interested to hear your comments below. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me. But, hey, the good times are coming to Man United. Diego Maradona's on his way. He's going to trick Pogba out. Who knows who he'd bring in. But anyway, Diego Maradona's not going to happen. But I'm pretty sure Pogba will be on his way out. I wouldn't want him in my dressing room. And I would be very, very keen to get Maddison in. There's a lot of interest, obviously, in Maddison. And there's talk of Tottenham and Liverpool, and obviously they can offer Champions League football. But I think if he is the boyhood Man United fan that he says he is, I think the lure of a big club like Man United could do it. If Solskjaer can sell him, the dream going forward, I think Man United could have a player there that could prove to be a superb player for the future. So let me know below. If you like the videos, please like and subscribe down below, and I'll keep you up to date with all the latest transfer news regarding Diego Maradona. Thanks for watching.